Hello, everyone, and welcome to this conversation presented by White House Custom Color.
Are you trying to mute me? No, it's just real loud, and I can't.
I sold Amazon, but it was $25.
Listening to listen, not listening to respond.
Yes. Oh, thank you for that. Let's get started. Kristina Guerrero, tell me, first of all, who you are. I know who you are, but not everybody knows who you are. Most people actually probably do know who you are. But for those who don't, for like the three people that don't know who you are, who are you?
I am Kristina Guerrero, as you said. I work at White House Custom Color. I worked here for about 14 years. I've done lots of things during my time here, but one of my main current jobs is I'm the cards product owner, which means me and my team help manage the card product, like what we should sell. And then the big piece of that is the designs and the stuff on the editor.
Designs and stuff on the editor. We will definitely get to that stuff. So White House has been offering cards for quite a long time. I think it was 2005 that we started doing that. And that was a crazy year, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And cards really since then, I feel like cards and things printed on cardstock have been kind of a big deal in our industry. Cards in general, huge industry. But what does it look like? What does it look like on the whole for the photographic industry, do you think?
Yeah. So, obviously it's a big industry as a whole. We have friends and partners over at Rise Above Research, and they basically run consumer reports, photo merchant reports all the time. So they would tell us it's anywhere from a $450 to $500 million industry yearly.
Large to quite large.
Yeah. That means there's money to be had, so photographers should be getting a piece of that pie is where we come from,
Right. Because not everybody offers cards, obviously. Right. But here we are coming really into the season, and really probably the biggest season for cards is coming up. There's different things throughout the year that are splotched with cards. Mother's Day is big for cards, and Valentine's Day is a little smaller for cards. But coming into the Christmas season, like this is kind of it, right?
Yes. Most of the time, holidays, Thanksgiving to the New Year is the largest popular occasion for cards in general for photo professionals and consumers.
And so the demand is still there. People want cards. People are still buying cards in mass quantities all over the place. People should sell cards. Why should someone sell cards, but why should they include them in packages? Like, how does that work in your opinion as the cards manager?
Yeah, there's lots of reasons we would say. I think it's interesting too when 63% of people who buy cards say they will buy them again the next year. So it's repeat business.
I didn't know that either. That's a big number.
It is. And so overall it boosts your income and, it gives your client like a one of a kind experience. All these people, we talk a lot of stuff and you've done podcasts on, not just give them the wall art, but go hang it in their wall. People like a one-stop shop. So from our numbers of how big the industry as a whole, people are going to buy cards. If they're not from you, they're going to go get them somewhere else because consumers are sending holiday cards. They're buying cards. So why not you get the money, instead of giving that to somebody else?
They're kind of creating a repeat customer. If you have somebody that's coming back to you on a regular basis, and those numbers are right, why not offer them cards? They're gonna most likely buy them from you every year. It kind of becomes like a routine or an expectation or a tradition, maybe, right? Like this is what we do for our Christmas cards, maybe.
Yep, and it goes hand in hand then with their session. But a lot of times, mini sessions, the family's goal is they want that picture for the Christmas card to send out to their friends. That's a lot of what they want. And two, like the marketing with that, like even if you were to sell the cards for not make a ton of money off them, your clients are probably selling, their inner circle and their friends are your clients. So you're basically them sending 75 of their cards to their friends with your, your nice image and your logo on it. It's marketing for you that you might not have ever talked to them.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And I actually, so I don't know, they can be a big moneymaker depending on how you structure things. Right. But I do know of people that consider them add-ons for maybe a smaller price or even a gift or a surprise. I've heard like, here's 25 cards they didn't even know they were getting. And maybe you give them an easy avenue to order 100 more if they need them, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. And I think there's lots of paths. And, like you said, we have some top clients that sell cards for a huge amount of money markup, and people pay them because they're high quality and it's the image, and that's their kind of status symbol to send to their friends.
Right.
We also have top clients that give them away because they want their other friends in the same money status in the same era as them to have their image and to see they're on it, like that's part of marketing for them, so they're choosing to put it in their package differently.
In that vein, I've heard the argument go both ways, and I know which way that my wife does it at our studio, but I'm curious in your opinion. Do you put your website on the card?
I think absolutely. And with the editor, we have it on the back of every card. And it's small and it looks nice. And to be honest, like I know before and I've done cards, like I felt pretty proud of, like, I know Vicky's shot my family's cards before. And I was really proud to put B Gallery Photography on my card. Like I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? So I think people need to get past that. I think years ago, people were like, oh, that makes it not look as nice, but I think it looks nice. It shows that you paid money to get your photo done nice. And
that you care about it. Right. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't need, it's unobtrusive, right? You're not splashing it. It's not like a watermark.
Right.
Oh, that's it.
And to be honest,
agree.
a lot of consumer sites put it on there pretty large. Like other consumer sites, when you go to other places, like I kind of laugh, like you can tell they got their card for free because the whole back says Shutterfly or whatever. It's like, okay, like you didn't buy this card, you got
right.
But.
Tell me this then. You've mentioned the editor. Let's talk about the editor for a little bit, because the editor is a big deal. First of all, tell me what it is. Let's talk about it for a little bit, and then let's talk about why it's such a big deal. Yeah.
So the editor is basically just like our online card shop. It is, for us, it's really a big game changer that you can basically drag and drop. You don't need Photoshop. You don't need anything. You can go on your desktop. It's really simple, and we have hundreds of designs of different occasions, and it's like really easy to edit with the text, the images, photo boxes. So really our editor is just a really easy design tool for cards.
And it's all free.
Yes, it's free. And on top of the design tool, the cards has some really cool selling paths. So it's not just a design tool. It's like a way to sell cards for you and your business to your clients.
So it's an easy way to design. It's drag and drop. It's web-based. You don't need any knowledge of Photoshop or Lightroom or any crazy applications. It's kind of, in my experience, very intuitive as you kind of walk through the process as you go through. It's kind of like from this step to the next step to the next step, and it flows really well. Tell me a little bit about why it's such a big deal beyond that. I mean, it's free. That's a big deal, but there's different ways to use it, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's really cool design stuff in there, but the path, so we say like you can sell through the editor. We kind of always say two approaches, like hands-on and hands-off. So even though we call it hands-on, it's still really simple, drag and drop, like no design time in it. But hands-on would typically be like the general way of the photographer is still designing the card for their client. And then they would send the proof over to the client. We do have some really cool proofing tools. You could send them a link. It's unbranded. So like that makes it really slick and look professional. And then the hands-off approach is kind of what we call like our studio way. Studio is kind of where we call it project based. So you could like upload the full gallery of the family into Studio, into your project. And then you can really take a hands off. You can send, you can look at let's say you're doing a holiday card. You could send all 300 cards, like the card grid, to your client and say, hey, I have these really cool designs. Would you like to design your own card? they could design their own card. They could order it. You could mark it up. So they will never see our White House prices. They will see your prices by a dollar or a percentage. And with that too, that's like a pretty hands off. You could do a little bit in the middle there with the hands off approach where you could, let's say you only love 15 of our cards. You could choose, basically we call it your own shop.
You can narrow it down and create your own card shop, right? So they don't have to see 300 designs. Maybe they see 30 or maybe they see 6, whatever you want them to see.
Yep. And then they could, you could design them in there and send them to them like, hey, I made these 2 cards for you. If you like them, you can go in there and edit them if you want. Like, and then the mom could go in and, oh, I like how she picked out green, but I'm going to pick out red background and I like this shape better or whatever. So it kind of gives people the freedom too. Like, right. We're all used to, people and our families and friends are pretty knowledgeable now on how to do some of that stuff, the easy things. Yeah. So, and sometimes too, they like that. So for the clients that, want to have some feeling of their own card, like they made it, right?
You have the option to go either way, really, right?
Yeah. So like I said, it's really slick. And so like, I think people just don't really have an excuse anymore to not sell cards, years ago. And like, Jed, you guys can probably attest to this, like your studio, you guys used to sell a lot of cards and high-end cards, and you would design the card specifically for every client. Right. Yeah. But that you had an in-house designer and you helped design, like, right. You dedicated a lot of time.
3 of them.
And that's what I mean. So, but now, these designs, they're so great and they're so easy to edit. You can make them really custom, and I know there's still some top clients that like are adamant about designing their own. And I love designing too, but at the end of the day, it's so silly not to use the designs because it's so easy and you can make them look different all the time.
Well, it's also one thing to have, 1 or 2 or even 4 or 5 cards to design. But if you've got 20 or 30, or some people I know have 50 cards that they're going to have to design. Oh my goodness gracious. And the back and forth that a custom design entails. I mean, you go back and forth with people 2 or 3 times sometimes, right? And make changes and adjustments. And it's so nice when it's in the editor because it's all right there. It's all happening in real time. And I love the 2 different options where you can take more of it on yourself. And if you have the time and the inclination to do that, or you can hand it off to somebody that might be interested in having more of a vested interest in the design of their own card. That might be something that people really enjoy, right? Yep. I think the editor is a huge deal. Anything else about the editor? Because let's say someone's listening and they don't know anything about anything and they're just starting or they don't even have an account. They sign up. You have to have an account, right? You get an account with White House. Real easy process.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's it. Like I said, once you have an account, you can go in there and design a card. It literally, you could design it. We say like, I think we timed it once, like 50 seconds or something, right? Like we might be good, but you really can, like it's really fast. And I think too, with the designs, like, our design team, like I said, I'm the card product owner. Like we talk and think about cards all the time. So when we design stuff, like we're looking at doing market research and all that type of stuff. So, it really takes off. You should use our cards. You know what I mean? Well, it just would be silly not to.
That's a really good point. And to keep going with the designs and just trends and I know you guys talk and think about cards and designs all the time, and you're all very hip and trendy. That's not me. That's you guys. I'm wearing a black shirt, and that's like dressing up for me. you guys are all into this stuff, and so you have all this knowledge. Tell me what are some of the designs and the trends that you're seeing for this holiday season coming up? What's happening?
Yeah, so we already have some really cool designs out there. And every year when we put new cards out or every week, it blows me away. But yeah, some of this year, like I know the girls, we really strive to be like a trendsetter. So we don't really necessarily want to follow other cards, but we do a lot of research on like what should the messaging be and like the themes. A lot of modern minimalism, bright, uplifting. Like I still get drawn to a lot of like the bright, fun stuff. Like modern arches is a big thing. I feel like we've been seeing over the last
arches.
Year and a half.
I've seen the arches. Yes. That is a big thing.
We'll probably have a shape come out like that this fall too. So that's a little sneak with the arch. But yeah, warm colors and, just kind of fun backgrounds. Our design team, they do a lot of the stuff in-house. So painting and drawing and stuff. So it's really cool to kind of mix and match the different pieces that they kind of come up with.
Then it's also guaranteed to be exclusive. You're not going to see any of that stuff anywhere else. It's only going to be here because we are actually creating things from scratch, from the ground up here.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Which I think is also a big deal because these days there's all kinds of content everywhere that you can get from anybody. Right. And then, I'm very often like noticing like, oh, that's from there. Or that's from there. Or I've seen that before. But when the content is designed from the ground up, you're guaranteed that it's absolutely original and that this is the only place that you're going to be able to get it. So I like that piece too. What else can we look forward to? You mentioned the arches, but are there any other things we can see coming on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, for holidays, we have just like awesome new cards coming out like every week. If you check the card grid for holiday, there's new ones on there. We have new holiday foils. We have really fun with our foils here. We like to be kind of custom. Like so we have some new shapes and stuff like that. For the new year, we're really close and hopefully to getting our other sizes in the editor. That will really allow people to take advantage of the suites. So like that kind of goes hand in hand too. Like we talk a lot about holiday right now since we're on the holiday season, but we have some really, really cool wedding suites. And I mean like a save the date, a thank you, the bridal card, everything you'd want in there. So with the other sizes in there, that'll make it really easy. But again, it just goes back to like being able to offer your clients this one-stop shop where, have full control of your images, and why not print them a nice wedding suite. And a lot of the cards now, years ago, we would never sell a card with no image in it because we sell to photographers. But a lot of our cards too, with the weddings, like they don't have images on it. And it's like, the photographers should be able to offer them. Like, why wouldn't they sell? Like right now, a lot of time photographers, if they don't sell wedding cards, they'll send them like a save the date and a thank you card. But like, why not have the whole matching suite to the invite and everything else? I think people want it. So the easier you can make it for people and give them that.
So the suite's like a coordinated design collection, right? Maybe you have the save the date, the thank you, the all anything that you can associate with the wedding. There's like 4 or 5 different specific cards and things that can be sent out regarding a wedding. And they're all coordinated, right? There's a design kind of across the board, so you can kind of use it to match someone's style or someone's look of their wedding, right?
Yes. Yep. And it's a whole suite. And I think too, people don't realize too, we have lots of other, like you mentioned in the beginning, some other scenarios, like we have cute Valentine cards on there, but we have kids' birthdays cards. Oh yeah. We have really cute marketing cards to send as stationery. Like you said, senior cards are another big one. But yeah, I mean, I think people are surprised sometimes when they go there and see the different categories of cards that they could get.
Now, I know we've talked about our designs being, they're made here in-house, and that in and of itself separates it from certainly other companies. But what about, how else do we stand out? How else does our product and our design stand out from other companies and especially consumer-based companies?
Yeah, I mean, I still think our designs, like you said, in-house, that's a huge thing. We put a lot of thought and energy into the cards themselves. But I also think like the editor in general, the selling paths for a photographer, a professional, right, with cards is really, like I said before, it's a game changer to be able to take a hands-off approach, but make money at it and upsell your chart cards. And the website can look like it'll have your logo on it. It'll have your branding on it. That's truly amazing. Like these consumer sites, sure, you can go on there and buy cards, but do they really market to the professional? You know what I mean? I do think the editor does do those things for cards, So it's a pretty big steep, and it's taken us several years to get to this point, right? Like Jed, obviously, I've been part of it, right? But we've known for a long time that cards is a big industry, right? People are buying it. How can we make it easier and better for the photographer to be able to sell these things?
Well, and the quality of the product is really second to none as well. I mean, you can rest assured that you're getting a professional grade quality product.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
It feels good when you hold it in your hands, and you can add soft touch to it and the different textures and the different paper types. It's really on another level. That's probably my favorite part as a business owner, because that your clients are going to be getting the best. They're paying for the best and they're actually getting the best. And it's nice to see when that happens. Well, let's take a step back for a second here to wrap this up. And I want you to talk about in 2020, what did you guys learn most? 2020 was a tough year last year. And I feel like this year we're still kind of coming out of all of that. But what did you guys on your team learn the most? And what are you most proud of?
Yeah. And I think that's a good question, Jen. I think too, like 2021 is still coming on us and we're really excited for the things to come. But I think looking back at 2020 it was good for our team. Like we had a lot of conversations and meetings around like what type of messaging should we be putting out into the world? How can we help send the right message? You know, we know our cards are potentially in a lot of homes. So like we sell to professionals, but the cards end up in our friends' houses, in our neighbors' houses, you know, and we really wanted to make a difference with cards. So I think for us, it was really focusing on the messaging of like the cards. Like a lot of our top like design last year was believe, you know. That was the top one. You know, being thankful, like sending, like using cards as a way to reach out to people. Cause people were isolated. Some people were having a hard time. And it's like, we're trying to think of ways, not only just sure that generates money, but like we were truly trying to make a difference with the community and think about like, how could this help somebody? And two, we like sprinkled in some humor in there, you know, people needed to laugh. Right. I love some of our girls' stuff they came up with last year, you know, it was like, oh dear, what a year with like the toilet paper and the deer's antlers, you know?
That's right.
To the designers too, and the girls came up with this on their own. We started putting those inspirational kind of messages in our shipping packages. You know, it's still marketed cards in the back, but it had such a really good response and people were sending us pictures and it was some of the same stuff we were putting on cards. We would just kind of put them on 8x10 cards so people could hang them up. And some of them were funny. We're like, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Right. Like we all laugh like that. And some was, you know, like you are strong and you got this, you know, like someone's like that too. So we were able to not only make a difference with cards, but I think like with the company messaging as a whole, try to like think of that in general. And like I said, it was a tough year for everyone. Right. And we wanted to approach it correctly. And you know, weddings and some other areas where we typically would have large card years, we did not. So we really wanted to make holiday, you know, be important to us. So, but yeah, no, I think it's good. Like I said, 2021, we're working on cards now. And part of it too, I think what's cool about our team is we do things in advance, right? Like we have been working on holiday cards since July, but also I think what sets us apart is like, the girls could come up, like there could be something trending tomorrow and the girls could come up with a card today and it could be live by Friday, you know,
it happens fast. It's up to date. Right.
Yeah.
I like that part too.
Yeah.
Now tell me this.
I think we're excited.
You're one of the faces of WHCC. People see you a lot. Where after the chaos of the holiday season is over, then we start 2022. And assuming things are going to continue to get back to normal, we go on the road, we go to different places. Where can people see you next year if they want to come and say hello to Kristina?
I don't think they're coming to say hello to me, but we will be there. I mean, we're hoping we'll be at Imaging. You know, last year Imaging was virtual, but we're hoping we'll be at Imaging. Actually, Matt will be at Shutterfest in a few weeks, and we'll be at some other shows this fall. But yeah, 2021, we hope, or 2022, we hope we'll be able to be somewhat back to normal, right? I think no one knows. We thought this year we would be there, right?
Now, hopefully next year.
We also are doing a lot of stuff with YouTube. So you can see me probably on YouTube too, Jed, at our WHCC Pro YouTube channel too. We've been trying to do more with that just because we can't see people as much in person. So we're trying to show more things camera-wise.
Making more digital content for the YouTube channel. I like that too. Yeah.
Just because, you know, at the same time, nothing replaces being in person, and we give out a lot of cards and do a lot of demos and stuff, and it's very helpful. But yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this. Thank you for joining me. This was good information.
Yeah, no, it's fun. And I think I'm gonna keep my new microphone for all my Zoom meetings. I'm gonna ask Lucas if I can have it.
That is fancy. It makes a statement right off the bat. Hey, have a good day. I'll be seeing you around.
Okay, thanks, you too, Jen.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this conversation presented by White House Custom Color on YouTube. Be sure to check out our other content and click that subscribe button right there. Right. Right there. It's there somewhere.